In today's lesson, we do some regen. Welcome back to another Bit Legend video. Fellas, let me just turn that volume down a little bit. Fellas, we're doing some regen. So just kind of showing players that maybe haven't started playing the game yet, kind of what a day in the life looks like, what it looks like getting through some of your regen. But we're gonna try to make it quick, and I'll try to ramble on about important things that people need to know, such as in the upcoming update, they are working on Guild Boss. So it might be called Guild Boss, it might not be called Guild Boss, but it's essentially Guild Boss, where everybody in the guild works together towards a common goal of killing a boss, and then when that happens, they get loot. And people get loot, rewards, something like that. It should be fun. I'm always very excited when they add new modes to the game, more stuff to do. I'm curious, I think it's going to use a new resource, like a separate ticket you'll be able to fight 2 or 3 times per day. Do all your guild boss fights and contribute, and I guess when your guild kills the thing, like I said, profit. So that's exciting. The rate at which we're getting new content to the game, and we're also getting quality of life fixes, is what gets me excited about what's going on these days. A lot of developers, they get pushed into only making content that directly brings revenue, which means that quality of life, bug fixes, those things don't happen in most games these days. They just kind of bury that under the rug, and they just put out so much more new stuff like, you know, gem shop and microtransactions that they forget about the core of the actual game. Ooh, Naira went up a lot on total stats, or something changed here. Yeah, Naira went up, because it used to be Will, and I think you guys have seen me fight Will pretty often, so let's fight Naira. Naira is a DPS, usually very glassy. Let's go back, click. Usually glassy. We're actually seeing some stamina there, so this is the tankiest I've seen Naira, so hopefully they have changed it up. The Brontosaurus weapon, seen that. This one, I believe this is from World Boss. I would like to have that, but you know, hey. I still haven't dropped a single mythic in this game. I've dropped like 5 legendary items and 0 mythics in my entire time playing, which is usually on a decent, respectable boost too. So anyways, this looks like it's going to be a good fight. Fighting DPS players is always very difficult. Bounty Hunter is incredibly strong. So let's see what happens. Okay, so oops, let's turn off autopilot. And there you go. So you guys saw what happened so far. I'm looking at the fam team over here. Deity's a good pick. Pharaoh's solid. But Alien Superman is a questionable choice. Questionable indeed. But oof. My Azure just got completely wrecked. And he is gone. So the whole point of my team is attack target skills and as much deflect as I can fit. We're already seeing the tankiness shine right there. Just look at that. Man, usually any other DPS would just get wrecked by now. But hey, we're still in it. We're still in it, boys. Can I get a single strike? Can anybody get a strike? My entire team is strike. Oof. Kind of hoping to kill him. Okay. Please kill the player. Here we go. There we go. Now you're going to strike when it's overkill. Okay, whatever. Still counts. I want to take a deity here. Deity. How do you guys say it? Deity or deity? I don't think it really matters. I'd never use his attack all skill because I just want to be sure in getting that enemy out of there. I'm going to use my mount skill there. Am I lagging? I'm uploading videos right now, so that's probably what's going on. But let's kill stuff and wrap it up. Okay. Look at that. I am like 300 mount materials away from +4ing the mount. I've talked about that a little bit. Let's go do it again. And just so in case it's not RNG, let's go fight again. What I found with these high tier DPS players is I think I'm winning like 4 out of 5 or 2 out of 3, just depending on who I'm fighting. So let's give a little bit more, get a better sample size. I told you guys in another video that I don't like dodge tanks, and I think you guys just saw why, because he just got Shrek'd in the face. But he's easy to make, so it doesn't mean he's a bad choice. Can I get a single strike on this guy? Just there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Whew. There we go. If I had more PvP tickets, I would definitely be running them. There you go. My master plan is eventually, once I've got a handle on my build, once I get my diversion at like 15% or higher, I want to take Azure out of there. Sometimes I'll run him in the back slot, but I want to take him out and replace it with another DPS so I have more snipe ability. Whoops, I don't know why I closed that. Let's go into, let's do Ordeal. Let's do Ordeal. I got my Gosler Croc up to 5, so you can see Azure is gone. I don't need him here, and I'm running 3 DPS and 1 healer. I'll call Gosler Croc a healer. He's got a 1 SP heal team skill. So let's let the autopilot go. I'm gonna click through Discord and try to scroll through and see if there's any cool changes and announcements and things that are happening. So there's supposed to be a refund. Probably by the time this video comes out, that people should start to receive, or I don't know, maybe some sort of notification will happen where players that spent gems on switching classes will get a little gem refund, and if they reset talents, they'll get a little gem refund. I've talked about that. And originally, I think he intended on people to private message him, but then they figured out how many players it would be, and they said, okay, that's too many. So they're just going to, I think, data mine their own server and figure it out that way and just automate it. Because otherwise, that would be a waste of human time. Yeah, that would not be fun to do. But I mentioned the guild boss thing, so that's going to happen. That's pretty cool. I'm really hoping they kind of figure out how the loot happens for the guild boss. If they base it just completely off damage meter, you'd think that would make sense. However, that means if anybody is a healer or if anybody is a tank, they're going to do basically no damage and have no chance on getting loot. And so that's going to make people not want to play tank and not want to play healer. And even if you're a DPS player, you want to have tank players on your team. I know that. So I hope they're more creative and they can find something that will reward everybody. What I think it should be is I think the entire guild should get the same reward, or maybe there should be 2 kind of rewards, like one for whatever boss your guild kills, and if you're in the guild you get rewards, and then a separate individual player reward. But like, how would they do it? Would they do it based off damage dealt? Would they do it based off of how long you survive against the boss, how many rounds you can go, something like that, or a combination? So those are the kind of ideas going around, but I'd like to see it. As far as guilds, a couple guilds on S3 have already maxed out their guild perks. So I do hope that they get creative and add more guild perks there. The max you can get is 30 members in a guild, and that is not a lot, but I kind of understand if the guild size is too big, then everybody flocks to like the top 2 guilds, and that's not exactly what you want for the strength of the game. Unity is considering getting sub-guilds. So either we're going to create a second guild because there's a lot of talent out there and we want to be able to kind of support the server that way. Or if we don't create a sub-guild, what we could do is we could talk to another guild that's already formed and we can start some sort of alliance that way. Typically the way those things work is, let's say whether we start a sub-guild or we have like we take another guild into our alliance, what happens is top players from Unity will friend players in the sub-guild so they can run through raids and they've got what they need, and it will get more people into the sub-guild, and then that's how those things grow. But all that'll be figured out. We're kind of working on that, trying to figure out how we want to do it. But like I said, there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of good players, and every day I see more familiar faces coming from other games that I know coming to this game, because we're making such a big hype about it. Take a second here and look at the DPS meter. So Moonlight at 30, Final Mech 32, Deity, he's a +0 legendary at 16, and then Gosler Croc over here at 13. Remember, Gosler is +5, Deity's +0, Moon and Final are +10. So if that means anything to you, just kind of focus on that. Super easy to make those guys. Let's go up to trials. We're almost done, boys. We're almost done. And I'm running the same team. Yes, I am. Okay, click the button and let us go. But I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. I'd like to hear what you guys think about the cosmetic packs that have been added into the game. I do think they're quite expensive. And so I'm probably going to dodge the majority of that kind of stuff just because, I've seen that stuff go south. All these games kind of monetize in the same way. I would say to anybody that's kind of apprehensive that this is the most free-to-playable game of this type that I have seen. So I definitely like that. I typically aim more than 50% of my content towards the free-to-play crowd. What fusion should you get for free-to-play? Or what's the most efficient way to do this or that is free-to-play. That's kind of how I aim things. But at the same time, I like to show you guys content that you wouldn't otherwise see, so that's why I make a lot of these legendary fusions. But as you can see, I'm replacing the legendary fusions with stabled epics, and you could do that yourselves, definitely as a free-to-play. I think it took me 30 to 40 raids to get all of the epics that I needed for Final Mech and for Azure and for Moon. So if you're not even at endgame right now, let's say you're stuck, you're stuck on some flag, you're in like raid 3 or raid 4, you could just get Moon and stable him up if you want, or you can just get Final Mech and stable him. If you didn't catch my first videos on this game, I used Moon and Final Mech plus 0 to get through pretty much all the content. And it was only when I was at endgame where I started popping out legendaries. Something like that. That's a fairly accurate statement. What else in the Discord? If you are in the official Discord, don't ping the dev. He reads pretty much everything all the time, so he's already seen it, but people hate being pinged. Don't do that. As far as bug reports, the 5x bug has still not been fixed, and we're still trying to push that and get that going. The way they kind of interpret it is the 5x ticket thing. You see me running 1 tickets here, or single tickets. They interpret it as 5x increases your loot chance, but not the quantity. So the quality of your loot, the chance for your quality of loot goes up, but the quantity doesn't. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work out. So if I'm running Ordeal, the whole purpose of running Ordeal is to get gold. And so the bug that we're calling it right now is if I have a gold boost on, and you should always have a gold boost on because you can get like a 25% gold boost just out of the gold shop. But if I have a gold boost on and I run 5x, the gold boost is ignored. You're not getting the benefit from running the boost on there. So what's happening is players are running 1x like you're seeing me do here. They're running 1 single ticket, and it takes a long time. On one hand, it's nice to have content all the time, but on the other hand, it's very limiting. If I got to run 36 Ordeal, tickets, that's going to take like an hour, maybe more. I don't even know. Probably about an hour. And so that is a lot. On the bright side, it's a lot of playtime. On the downside, it's a lot of playtime. So kind of interested in what you guys think about that. But I do think they should fix it, because I don't think it's the best way to go. Hey, look, we're going to fight Swordsman. This guy does a ton of damage, so this will be interesting to watch me auto this. I don't think I've fought this guy since I made the new team. But let's see. Final Mech's autopilot always uses the attack all, which isn't bad DPS, but I'd rather him start sniping things. Goslicroc has just enough stamina to take a single hit, and he does his heal team skill there. But boom. Did I reflect the boss? That was quick work. But you can imagine if I was doing tier 9, he probably would have wrecked my team. That probably would have been really scary. But let's do it again. I don't even remember what rewards you get from running trials. I guess just whatever loot you pick up on the way. Definitely worth doing. And you'll see a new bug here. If you looked where my tickets, if you run a ticket, it kind of shows like it's full tickets. It's just a visual bug, but that is new since the patch. But it's not impacting my gameplay. What else is there to talk about? The 5x he just posted, like literally just now. The 5x problem has been fixed and will be solved soon. Oh my goodness. Let me go snip that and post that to the community Discord. The problem that I just talked about, that might be in the next update. This is what I'm talking about. This is the exact sample. I told you guys that the devs are communicating with us all the time. They're commenting on our suggestions. They're taking our suggestions. They're commenting on our bugs. They're fixing our bugs. They're adding new content that we didn't even talk about. And with the example of the guild boss, they are discussing the new content with us, and they're interested in suggestions and hearing about it, what players think, like for the rewards I talked about. Like, you know, there's a lot of games that start out when it's a small population, it's early access, the devs are really communicating and so on, and that tends to fade as the game gets bigger and everyone's more busy and things like that. So, you know, brace yourself. This may change in the future, but just giving the benefit of the doubt, it's just amazing and refreshing to see devs, you know. There was an incident where, not an incident, but there's players that wanted to transfer from one server to another server, and there was an account issue, and that got fixed in less than a day. Just little stories like that, they really add up, and they give you a lot of confidence in the game. But man, as I'm recording this video, he just posted that in Discord. The 5x problem is fixed and will be solved soon. That's like the number one for a lot of people. We also requested the 3x speed that you're seeing in the bottom left corner, and they put in 3x speed so we could run through content faster. Like, we requested that, and like less than a week later, it was in the game. You know. So what else? Did I miss anything? I'm loving it, fellas. I'm loving it. I'm trying not to be a fanboy too much, but they're making it difficult by putting in awesome updates. I do hope that redirect bonus will be added into the game. We talked about that yesterday, and he was open to the idea. And I think redirect is one of the main things that the game is missing right now. Right now, if somebody on your team gets attacked by attack target or attack random, there is no way to defend that. They just got to take the hit, and maybe you got a potion, maybe you don't. And that's not great gameplay, you know? Like, there's no real counterplay to that. But if you can get redirect, then okay, now you can start doing something. Because there should always be counterplay to what's going on in the game. If there's an attack closest skill, you put your tank in the front. If there's attack front 2 skill blowing you up, you put 2 tanks in the front. If there's attack furthest, you put a tank in the back. If there's attack strongest, you make sure that your tank has the most stamina and you keep him healed and he takes the hit. If there's attack weakest, then you put a bait tank that has low stamina but high defensive bonuses. But if there's attack random, it's just going to hit one of your guys and kill him. If there's attack target, it's probably going to hit one of your guys and kill him. There's really not much that you can do about that. And I guess the last thing I want to talk about is the artist is the 4th class. It's not added into the game yet. I don't know how long it took them to get NG ready to go, but artist is coming up. So I'm very curious. I've recently posted a tank build with NG, and I am I'm not going to swap until I see what artist has and until I see the math of how damage reduction works with different damage types and how elemental resist works and things like that. So I don't want to keep jumping around and building everything out until I see the numbers. But anywho, there you go. And there is that little bug at the top. So right now, if you look above trials, it looks like I have the entire resource bar full, but you can see it reset right there. Not a big deal. I'm pretty sure they know about it. And we ran all our stuff, boys. So there's other content in the game. There's World Boss. If you want to check out World Boss, check out my World Boss videos. I'm probably going to burn this energy off, getting more Nile Crocs to try to stable Gosler. And then I'm running my raid tickets in Raid 2 because I need to get the blueprint for Swordsman. And you saw him in the second to last Trials run. But I'd like to make a video on Swordsman, and I'd like to make a video on Full Armored Mech. Those are the legendaries that I want to show off. But anywho, we're staying the course, just another day in the life. And as always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.